for this title. And he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is the warm down, and today I am joined by a pretty depressed Liam. How you doing, son?
Hi. Why am I here? Why am I here? Welcome to what happened yesterday?
So United beat Burnley yesterday. Obviously Liam's a Burnley fan, for those who don't know. Go and check his channel out as well. It's a pretty good channel. Plays a lot of FIFA, does some Burnley vlogs, and loses his mind a lot on the way with doing those. So let's talk. Yeah. We are going to talk about what happened with United and Burnley. But I think what is a real good time for us to do is now look at the Premier League. Now we're 4 games in. I don't think you can do predictions before you see the league start to play out a little bit. And I don't think you can predict with any degree of accuracy now. But I think you can still do it a bit more accurate than you could at the start of August, at least, anyway.
Yeah, a bit more accurate, I'll say, yeah.
So let's get into yesterday's game then. So we were sort of texting beforehand, didn't we? And we both kind of said 0-0 on the cards here.
Yeah, I thought it was a guaranteed 0-0 draw because we're doing terrible, you're doing terrible. And shithouse Burnley. And that's what I expected. And that's not what happened. Well, we kind of shithouse you a bit. You know, got Rashford recorded and penalty save. And that was really it. I mean, when Hart saved it, honestly, we celebrated that as if we won. And that's the beautiful part of Burnley. We don't even need to win to win. And that's, end of the day, we're all winners. That sounds so gay.
I thought from a tactically interesting game, from a United point of view at least. Without being disrespectful, I thought Burnley weren't going to offer us anything. And I thought 0-0 was kind of the worst case scenario it was going to be for us. And I did say in the preview, if our big players step up, we win this game. My concern was I didn't know what the situation was with those big players. Are they wanting Mourinho to stick around? Do they maybe want him to go? And if they do, we could see a poor result on the back of that.
Yeah.
I think what we saw was that United players, at least, seemingly back the manager, seemingly are talking the right sort of things, and I think there's been a bit of a change of attitude from Jose Mourinho to the players and the fans as well.
Do you think that there's now going to be a massive change in how the club now acts now? Because the way I see things, that for United to go from where you guys are right now, which is probably not in the title, like.
No, I don't think
when people think he's going to win the league, I think as of right now, City or Liverpool, typically. And United's just like, they will likely get top 4. Maybe, hopefully, because I don't even know. I don't care. I'm a Burnley fan. But I think that if everyone's on the same page and everyone just shuts about Mourinho, I think that's the most important part. Just so that Mourinho just gets out the headlines a bit.
Yeah, and I think when you look at what we did against the top 6 last season, we was the second best team against the top 6. City had a record-breaking season, which you would think and hope that is not going to be repeated. So you've got to say, can United beat every team in the league? Well, we did beat every team in the league. Yeah. Can we become more consistent? Yeah, we could probably be more consistent. So therefore, at least logically, there is a title run to be had. Now, you lose 2 games out of 4, you're probably not going to be title contenders. Yeah,
Brighton, and also a 3-0 loss to Tottenham as well. I mean, I didn't really see that game that much because I have no wife in my house because I live in the 19th century now. I'm from Burnley, so people won't be surprised anyway. But I mean, what was your thoughts on the game? I thought the 3-0 loss against. In first half, I saw that first half you was pretty much on top, but second half, you just got countered each time.
Yeah, 2 minutes, Spurs score 2, and this is the thing that I think it probably makes a massive difference at the moment. That I think that we've got a fragile confidence in the squad at the moment.
Yeah,
I got no proof of that. It's just a pure guess and opinion of that all the negativity that's gone on, I think, has probably led to a little bit of an eroding of confidence a little bit. So when we conceded the first goal, there wasn't that, don't worry, we got this in the squad. There was chances. We had more chances against Spurs in the first half than we did against you guys in the first half.
I didn't watch the game, I don't know.
But it's 2-0 at half time against you guys, and it's 0-0 against Spurs. I think that's the difference.
I spent most of the game yesterday, it was just like this, pretty much.
I think if Lukaku scores his open net, which the screenshots make it look really easy. It wasn't as easy as they made it look, but he should have scored it. I don't think we lose from 2-0 at home to Spurs. They went on and beat us. They did very well to do so, but then they Spurs it up against Watford. I think what's going to be more telling for United as a team and where we're at for this season is going to be Watford for us after the international break. I think that's going to let us know if we can go to Watford.
Is that your next game now?
Yep. So they're 4 from 4.
That's a big game, that, because Watford, I mean, 4 wins in a row, I would know to beat us also.
Spurs have gone there and lost. This is if United go there and beat them, people have to go, oh, maybe that was a blip. Maybe we've figured out some of the problems. If we go there and lose, everything's going to come back again. Let's talk about.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'll be watching your fan cam.
So let's talk about you guys. You've had your little Europa League experience.
Yeah, Athens, Istanbul, loving it. And we're out. I mean, worst part is, if we went through, I would have gone to San Siro. Thanks, Sean Dash. So, other than that, yeah, we had our fun. 3 away games, 3 European away games to Istanbul, Athens, and Aberdeen, if you want to count that as a European away. There it is. Yeah, fair play to Aberdeen.
You probably should.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but half of Aberdeen already half of Scotland already hates me, so as a few more people. But
do you think it's a good thing that you're out? As much as it's a fun thing to go and do, and you'd love to have seen Burnley in the San Siro. I think we'd all love to have seen Burnley in the San Siro.
That'd be the most banter thing of like, honestly, just saying that in one sentence just sounds odd. Just Burnley to go play AC Milan.
Mate, I love watching United in the San Siro.
Europa League.
Of course, yeah. So I think I don't think you've got the squad to compete, or I don't think you had the squad to be able to compete on both fronts, which I think kind of explains a lot of the start of your season. Yeah,
depth-wise, we haven't even got enough depth to deal with the Premier League. Never mind, also Europa League as well. So I think with Europa League, after that now, we've had our 3 away games now. We've had a bit of a taste of going to Burnley away. I don't think any Burnley fan can go what's happened now and go be annoyed really. We've had a bit of a taste, had a bit of a laugh, and now it's back to reality. Now, of course, last season I think it's what's happening now is just a massive coming straight back to reality of that we are still a Burnley Football Club and that we still play a kind of a boring style of football. We pass it backwards a lot, sideways passes, we cross the ball back, cross the ball in, and every now and then we shit house a few teams, and that's really it. That's Burnley. So I think this year, I don't think we'll get relegated. To be fair, I think there's 3 teams that stiffy worse than us. I think that Cardiff for one. I think they did well over there. To be honest. Well, we actually dominated Southampton for the first half at least when we played them. It was our first game of the season, and we drew 0-0 because we just couldn't put it. Aaron Lennon had a 1-1. Aaron Lennon, oh god! I think he misses so many chances for us. No one shoots for our squad.
No, I don't think Woods is the sort of striker that you need. I think you need someone that's going to be a bit more
like Vidra that we have on the bench.
Yeah, just someone who's going to get you a goal, no matter how.
I think that's more of a Barnes kind of guy. Barnes is kind of the more kind of like he's an interesting one. I think that I prefer 4-4-2. We play 4-5-1 recently. We play Hendrick as a number 10. Hendrick is not number 10 by any means. Like, he doesn't assist and he doesn't score. So there's no point in him being there. So we need to do 4-4-2. But honestly, it's boring me talking about Burnley because I'm a Burnley fan. Even I'm getting depressed because we've got Wolves nets away in the Premier League, and that's going to be huge for us. Because yet again, we've lost to Fulham and newly promoted side 4-2. And then we lost a lot for 3-1, which I guess that's no shame as they're doing well, fair enough. But if we lose to Wolves as well,
I think at the start of the season, a lot of people's Premier League predictions saw the investment that's gone on at Wolves and went, they're going to smash it. And then they looked at your squad and they looked at Europa League and went, there's no way they're going to survive. I've actually got you two being neck and neck. I think you're going to finish right next to each other, probably about 11-4, 12th.
Yeah, I said in my prediction 12th, 13th. So Wolves, I thought Wolves would be 12th and would be 13th, and Fulham would be like 15th. I think that's what my predictions to be in.
Yeah, I think Fulham. Let's go from the bottom then. So we reckon. I think both of us have gone for Cardiff, haven't we, to be the team?
Yeah, I think experience is very important because as a Burnley fan, I've seen it firsthand twice now that we got relegated because we didn't have enough experience, and it's so important. So I think with them, I just can't see how to get that many goals. But they have scored 2 against Arsenal yesterday. To be fair to them,
it was probably good for a draw yesterday against Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal scored some cracking goals, but I thought they were probably good value. If they'd have got a draw, I think they'd have been like, well, I think we earned that. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I got Cardiff finishing absolutely rock bottom.
Who else you got then? So you probably Southampton, you said earlier? Southampton?
Yes, I have Southampton 19th.
I think it's completely dependent on if Danny Ings is... Because, of course, he used to play for us as well. He does get important goals. He does step up. He is a good player.
I think I think what you're seeing with Southampton is the divestment. Like they've had their best players just stripped
they've been a selling club for a while now.
Yeah, and I think that eventually comes and bites you in the arse. And I just get the feeling it's this season for them because I just don't think they've got enough about the team. Yeah, I mean, even Gabbiadini on his day is a hell of a footballer.
Yeah, I know, but he scored against us twice, I think.
But I just don't think he's going to have it in him. And then I was umming and ahhing. I think I might have said Brighton. Although their performances this season already, I think...
And also they beat you, so it's a bit stupid if you say that.
And people are going to be like...
I was thinking Huddersfield.
Yeah, I had Brighton and Huddersfield, and I was umming and ahhing and swapping and changing them, but I won't be shocked, actually, to Huddersfield and Brighton to just escape.
And that means who else would be in there then?
So that's it. So, no, the 3 to go down... Cardiff, Southampton and Huddersfield is my 3 to go down. Okay. I think Newcastle
I don't think Newcastle will go down.
I think they finish above Brighton. I think Brighton are still going to finish fairly low down. I think they'll probably do alright to a point, and then I think once they feel safe, I think they'll probably start to struggle. I think Newcastle, again, poorly run.
Yeah, I think it's completely dependent on if Rafa stays, which I think he will stay, for at least this year. Because I used to live in Newcastle, so I spend each day with Newcastle fans, and they're mental. They're mental.
They weren't terrible against City the other day, but again, they get nothing out of it at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's almost like what we were, Burnley. Like we put the most, we sprint the most, and we put the most effort in. But at the end of the day, it's points that you need. Yeah. But I still don't think Newcastle. They maybe like 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah, I feel they're in that kind of mix. Let's get the league table up as it is now. Yeah, and it might help us go through everybody else.
Well, we brought up earlier, so I think it's important to be known now because as a Burnley fan, we was the surprise package last season. And surprise packages this year so far is Watford.
Last season because of the players that you lost, and I was like, don't know if you can replace those.
Yeah, Keane and Gray, which are top goal. Yeah, actually, it wasn't our top goal scorer, it was our second. I think Vokes were our top goal scorer, something like that, or Barnes. But yeah, Keane as well, which, to be fair, most Burnley players that leave Burnley, they never do that good, other than Trippier and Austin for a year or two. Ings, he left us, got inched away Liverpool. I mean, he probably would have been okay for Liverpool, but definitely not, insane.
I've got...
And I mean, Jason Shaka, that was our captain, left us, and now guess where he's at now? Lincoln. Jason Sharkey was our captain. He left us because he wanted better. Now he's at Lincoln. So
that was my prediction that I did on Ball Street. I had Cardiff, Southampton, Brighton.
So at least you weren't lying.
So
at least you weren't lying.
I mean, the note is literally from the 7th of the 8th. It's not been touched. Then I had Watford 17th, which that one is looking a bit foolish.
Yeah.
But I thought again they'd been stripped. I didn't think they've lost their best player in Richarlison. I was like, they're going to struggle now.
I think also because of how quickly they are to sack managers. They're such, with those managers, they get some. They come and get now some Italian guy you've never heard of before. It's like they can't keep on doing it. They will do it again, and then that won't work out for them. So I just thought that eventually your luck runs out. But fair play to them. I mean, I like to see a smaller team, not smaller, but a team outside the top 6 do well.
Yeah, I think we all do. I think we all like it getting mixed up every now and then. Yeah. I think that's why some leagues, like the Italian league, had become a little bit stale. People would love to see someone else other than Juventus win that thing at the minute. Same in Scotland.
I think Italian league is quite fun. I think it's just kind of which is the most obvious one. But Germany, I think that's the one with the most consistent, other than Celtic, but of the top 5 leagues, I think Germany is probably the most consistently just obvious.
No one's retained the Premier League since United did it in 2009, I don't think. So that's I think City are massive favourites to do that this year, but I think it just shows you how competitive this league is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say that, but Leicester won it. Leicester won the league 2 years ago.
The right team doing the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they were wrong. They deserve to win it, but Leicester won the league 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I believe they sat Ranieri. Pep's got an interesting record. I think he's got to get to Christmas. I think, or he might have to get to the end of the season. Everyone who's won the league recently has been sacked the following season.
I mean, I kind of can't see it with Pep, honestly. Who else are they going to bring in?
I mean, they're not going to sack him.
Yeah, I can't see it. But
I mean, it'd be interesting if
imagine if Pep got sacked by City this season.
I wonder what odds you can get on that. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. It's got to be 500 to 1 plus.
Yeah, I mean,
but something could happen. He could do something.
Like what? Kick a baby in the head?
Yeah, offend the owners somehow.
Kick a baby in the head. I think he'll still stay.
He could come out. Yeah,
he could burn a dog on fire. He'd be like, yeah, it's still Pep though. He's still bold. It's
There's
lovely.
The title. We'll burn a dog. Pep burnt a dog.
But I mean, is David Moyes available? Imagine Moyes at City.
Where is Moyes? And he just took a national job somewhere.
probably like Kenya or something.
Didn't I
like that.
think? Wasn't he going for the American job?
That's probably at his level. No, he's definitely not US because I would definitely know. I would have heard about that. I'm pretty sure he's still a free agent. So City, you're last man. Where do you rate it?
No, he's not anywhere at the moment. He was just linked to a job very recently ago.
Was his last club was West Ham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Atlanta United job 3 days ago. He's been linked with it.
Oh, he's keen with it. David Moyes, Italian job. Mess up.
So next I had Huddersfield, and then I've got Fulham. I thought Fulham was going to be a team that came up and stayed up. I think they're a very well-run club, and I think they've got a very exciting team that's got goals.
Yeah.
I think they was going to, not just Sessegnon. I think they've got some excellent players. And Seri was a brilliant signing for them.
Schürrle as well, man. Like
mad signing.
World Cup winner. He's got like 4 goals in that World Cup as well. Like he should be like. I think he could get into a top 6 side. He could play at Chelsea easily right now, I think.
Then I had Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, and I had Newcastle 12 actually. I had them a bit higher up than I thought. Then I had you guys in 11th. I did have Wolves.
That is quite nice, putting us in 11th.
I had Leicester in 10, Wolves in 9. So what do you make of the Wolves project, if you could call it a project then?
It's a mad project, to be fair. I mean, it's all about what your thoughts are. I mean, if you ask any Championship fan, then I think you'll get the same idea. They hate it because they kind of bought it all. I mean, I don't know if do you know? I mean, I don't really know about it. I just know they sound like a bunch of like mad Portuguese players.
Yeah, like Mendes has got his fingers all over.
Is it legal though? Is it legal at the end of the day?
I think so. Yeah. So.
Yeah, if it's legal, I mean, then you do what
you can do.
Yeah, like any other team can go and do it. Any other team can get bought out by some rich owner or some super agent or whatever.
Whose mates happens to be agents. I mean, it makes sense. If you're an agent and I go and buy a football club, and I know you've got all this top talent from around the world.
Why is there a reason why he chose Wolves over all places? Wolves, maybe he just likes the colour?
Don't know. Maybe he's like, look, we know that these lads can come into the league, they can do well, and we can move them on. And that's a legitimate business plan. That is a legitimate business plan.
Yeah,
bring players in, sell them on at higher value.
So you think, like Ruben Neves, for example, you think that he sees Wolves as like a stepping stone?
Yeah, and I think that's the dream that they sell them. I think a lot of people look at the Premier League and they go, I'd love to play for Liverpool, City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal.
But they aren't just up to scratch just yet.
But yeah, they're not on their radar properly yet. You come into the league.
I mean, Ruben Neves was though. He was like captain of Porto, like 19. It wasn't he in the Champions League? So like, he definitely was on some sort of radar. Who else he got though? Like most.
But then most question mark in it. Oh, he's done it in Portugal. Can he do it in England? Well, you come to Wolves and you do it at Wolves. You go, I know that guy can do it in England, and now his transfer fee's not the Porto transfer fee. It's a Premier League transfer.
Yeah,
fee,
that's okay.
I had then West Ham 8th, Everton 7th, and this might be the one that looks the silliest at the moment. I had Chelsea in 6th.
Not gonna lie, I put Chelsea 6th also in my prediction. I did also.
And I think Chelsea join City and Liverpool after the start they've had. The reason I put them in 6 is I thought that the style of play that he was bringing was going to take
time.
A little bit too long. I thought it was too different to what Conte did, which was too different to what Jose did. And when you look at that constant turnover of managers, you go, how can these players live with all of these different systems? Now, on one hand, it's a credit to them players.
Yeah. On
another hand, it's like these players maybe love getting into a new system and I get bored of it after a year. And that's
Chelsea's a weird. Was it like last year? It wasn't as great. Then they won the league. Then they came like what was it, 10th or something like one season?
They've dropped
recently.
down.
Yeah, they went to like 8th or 10th or something like that. And then they won the league the season before that. So they're a weird club. But the thing is though, like I probably should have been a bit more nicer because like they have pretty much got the same squad, other than Diego Costa that pretty much won the league like 2 seasons ago. So.
I still think they need that goal scorer sorting out. If they get a goal scorer, everything else kind of fits in a play. They've got some excellent footballers in there, and I think Jorginho was an inspired signing. He's looked fantastic for them.
Yeah, I think it was a lack of signings I think that most people looked at. And speaking of lack of signings, there's also Spurs, which I think their best piece of business was just the fact they didn't lose anyone. That was actually important. I think that was the more supporting part.
When you look at Spurs, you go, how do you really improve that 11? I mean, really improve that 11. You're going to have to spend 200 mil,
yeah, 3 digits at least, probably. I mean, who else? What other spots are there? The left back is Rose, isn't it?
Rose or Davies, who's come in, he's done excellent for him this season.
Yeah.
Trippier on the right. That back three is doing numbers for him.
Lloris, World Cup winner.
Sanchez, Vertonghen, Lloris in net, World Cup winner. Loves a beer or a glass of wine, allegedly. Decent-ish midfield. I think you could probably improve on. I think you could definitely improve on Dyer. I think you can improve on Dele Alli. Ericsson, top player. Kane, top player. They've got a great 11.
Yeah.
I think if anything that you could improve Spurs on, it would be the depth. Son as well, excellent player. So
it's also about Son as well that he could be like in an army right now if he lost that final. That's mad, that.
Something came out today that I haven't had a chance to look into, which is that he's elected to actually do the national service.
What,
even though he won,
him himself is.
Yeah, even though he won so they won the Asian Games, which meant that he didn't need to then do the 2 years mandatory service because he was a medal winner in the games, because it's mandatory national service in South Korea.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine if that was a thing in England. I mean, mad, that. Because I don't know if you look at me, but I don't think I'm right up to scratch. I'd be like a dinner lady or something like that. That'd be my job.
But I think I saw something today. Let's draw up. We have the internet at our fingertips. Let's just Google. There's
just going to be so much random just conversations in this video. I do apologise if you're struggling to keep up. Or with my voice, I do apologise for that also. Wait, so like, so he can't, well, now he's not having to be able to do it, but what, how is he going to do it then? When he retires or what?
Anyway, no, I think he said, because I think he has to do it now, because I think there's an age where you have to do it.
Yeah, I think you have to like do it for 2 years until like you're 24, 25?
Yeah, between 18 and 24.
So you're saying he's going to stop being a professional footballer, earning how much he's earning, to then eating beans in a tin, cold?
Hang on, let me read it.
There's no way that he would do. I'd rather be in his wage.
I think it's fake news.
Yeah.
I think it's fake news.
I want to be in his wage, not eat cold beans out of a tin in some war zone. Korea's not even in wars, are they? So like, he's just going to be moping around for 2 years, really.
Yeah, I can't find anything from anyone that is worth listening to. No. All right, maybe.
What's up with you and your fake news? Wow.
Like, literally, it was posted before. I'll show you who posted it later as well. I'm not going to call them out on air, but they.
All about the drama here.
I'll show you it was. So yeah, essentially that. I mean, again, another good player. So I think you have to go a long way, and you have to go with some seriously heavy hitters to be able to improve that Spurs 11. So
who else can even bring, though? To be honest,
who do you buy? Where you go? Here's the thing. I think a
midfielder is probably the most important for them.
Yeah, you can go. I know what we need. Like someone like Verratti would look amazing with that Spurs midfield, I think.
Yeah.
And you can look at United and you go, I know what we need. We need that, we need this, we need that. I don't think you could necessarily look at the Spurs team and go, oh, we definitely need that. And I think that's probably why they've not bought anyone. Or it's the cost of the stadium, which is run over on it.
When is that even coming to be used?
Start of the season, wasn't it? But it's not ready.
No, I think it was supposed to be like, maybe 3-4 games in or something like that. I have no idea. Like, is it delayed? It does look smart. I mean, it looks like, Marseille's stadium. Like, it's like a half Marseille, half, not Emirates, but like, kind of similar, isn't it?
I love the shithousery that they did. Like, the Emirates hold 60,000, so they've made theirs 61,000.
They did, actually. Yeah, but end of the day, their stadium looks like a toilet bowl.
It does look like a bit like a
toilet from above, it looks like a toilet seat.
Funky shape that they've kind of messed up a little bit.
I don't think they helped themselves out, honestly. They say it literally looks like a toilet bowl. And people give Turf Moor shit, but at least it doesn't look like something you shit on. But to be fair, people probably have shit on Turf Moor Stadium, to be fair.
So if you're going to pick your winner of the Premier League this season, where's it going? Because I think I've got to put Chelsea in the mix with City and Liverpool at the moment, because Liverpool did... For someone that, again, you can look at them and you go, they need X, but they got X. And they got Y as well.
It's because I would have said Tottenham should be also in the as well. But then they lost to Watford. So I think it's just Tottenham is still going to be Tottenham? Or what? If I say anyone's going to win the league, I think it's going to be City because of how much depth they've got. And, they have no De Bruyne for like the last few games. They're still smashing each team. Like, they'll dominate. I mean, they only beat Newcastle 2-1 the other day, but like... I think they've just got too much. I think that the gap between the points between last season and this season will not be as big. I think it'll be closing, and I think that a team to do that will be Liverpool more than anyone else. Mainly because they could only score goals last season and they had to sort out the defence and the midfield, and they've done that. Of course, Alisson also did that, bit of a mess up against Leicester. Imagine if Karius did that as well. Mate, he'd be dead. He'd get lynched. That's what happened to him. If he did that after all the other stuff he's just done, like against what team was it? Tranmere. He got bantered
Yeah.
He got bantered by a Tranmere player. He was playing a Champions League final a month ago. Imagine that drop. I mean, he's at somewhere now. Is that Besiktas, isn't it?
They got rid of him.
For like 2-year loan. It's not even a transfer, it's a loan. So they actually, why is it a loan?
It's probably a transfer in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But they've just
it's 2 years as well.
They've not put it in the books yet.
Not
That's
yet.
what them loans do, I think. They allow you to defer the payment of it. So you'll agree to payment with them now.
Yeah.
And you can have them on loan and pay us at the end of it.
So like...
It's like having them on tick.
I mean, also, I think that if he got transferred instantly, Harrison, I think that he may literally just like disappear. I don't know.
It's a mad one, isn't it? Because obviously...
He was
I find it funny that
he
people
was alright
say...
for most of the season, though. He was alright.
I find it funny that people say Klopp improves players with his coaching. He's replaced players that he signed.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved into this one. I feel like Liverpool fans, you could just talk to the camera for this one. Actually, I don't think it's some sort of comment war. I'm only a Burnley fan. What am I doing here?
So we think. You reckon the Champions League's going back to City? I think I have to.
Today, and I think that the team to be second to closing the gap will be Liverpool because they can score goals, and I think they have.
So United, Chelsea could round out the top four, or do you think? Because that might be. I think 3 into 2 doesn't go. I don't think Arsenal are going to come top four. I don't think they've got it in them to do that and compete with the Europa League. I didn't think the signings they made were particularly impressive.
I mean, I kind of like the look of Arsenal. I kind of did because I think Terrell it will be a big improvement to what they've currently got. So I think that when he gets a bit more form, a few more games under his belt, I think he'd be a good player for them. I think they do stand a chance. I thought they were too far. I thought they stood more of a chance than Chelsea, but Chelsea's now 4 games in a row and they beat Arsenal. So shows how much I know.
They look good as well. I have to admit it. I mean, again, if they can figure out scoring goals, I think they'll be fine.
I think it's weird. I think everyone's like City win the league. I think everyone's like kind of understanding that now. Everyone agrees with that in some sense. And then Liverpool.
Apart from Liverpool, I think some Liverpool fans think they're going to win the league.
Yeah, but they're Liverpool fans. If you support
think.
your team, and if you're someone like Liverpool, then you'll think you win the league. Shots fired. I don't know. Is that? I don't even know. No. But yeah, everyone's going to agree that City will win the league, and then there's Liverpool that probably will be second or third, and then it's just a battle for everyone else. Which it's funny. I like it. As an outside top 6, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to love it.
If we come top 4, but we do better in the Champions League. Again, look.
What is a successful season? Do you want a successful season? Are you expecting a kind of keeping the right lines? Nothing too terrible. You get knocked out to group stages.
If Klopp and Pochettino can have successful seasons last season without winning anything, then United can have a successful season without winning anything.
So what does it require you making a final of the Champions League or what?
I think it would be by the end of the season we need a more defined style of play with more varieties in our attack.
I mean, you have the players to do it.
We do have the players to do that, and I think that's a lot of people's gripe with Mourinho is that you didn't get the players you want.
What players did he want?
He definitely
he got linked with like 500 players.
He wanted we do get linked to a lot of players. I think he wanted Alderweireld.
I think United needed a centre back. You needed a centre back.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that would have made a huge difference to us. But what we've got isn't the worst squad in the world. It's still a good squad.
Yeah, it's still a good squad.
I think if you truly are a great manager, you probably need to adapt a little bit and go, right, I need to get a tune out of this squad. How do we do that? And if
anyone can do it, it will be Mourinho.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what's the most confusing part of it all.
Well, I mean, last season we had enough points to win some of the leagues that have gone. We would
to
have
win
won
some of the leagues.
Yeah.
Oh, because you came second, didn't you?
Yeah. If we'd have had that points tally in the Leicester season, we're champions.
Do you think it's just unlucky that you was just in that same season as City, or what?
It's the season that you're in. You can only compete against the season you're in. You can't transfer points from previous seasons. Don't work like that. So
imagine if that was a thing. Imagine that. Wasn't there like about? You've heard about the La Liga that they want to play games in US or something like that.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to take until that is brought up as it will actually it will happen by FA, but that will start getting rumoured around a lot more. How long do you think there's so many fans in US, but that's the most stupid. No one's going to watch Bournemouth versus Burnley in New York, are they?
They had the idea of Game 38, which was meant to be played abroad, like Dubai, Far East, and over in the States and stuff like that. And
South Africa.
It's just 10 games they have to find a home for, isn't it? But you're like, hang on, who decides who you get to play? Because if you draw Liverpool or City or Chelsea or United or something, you're like, hang on, we've dipped out here. It's fair at the moment. You play every team twice, home and away.
Oh yeah.
Whereas if you had an extra game in, well, what if we drew you?
Game 50.
What if you draw
Game 39 then. Game 39, something stupid.
Madness.
Like that.
But yeah, the Spanish captain supposedly got together and was like,
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, you would think that, wouldn't you? Like, imagine you're just like you're a footballer, you join a club in wherever, so Spain for this case, and you say, okay, well, next year you're playing in, I don't even know.
NFL does it.
Tokyo.
NFL does it a lot, don't they? At Wembley.
But that's for how many games do they do that for? It's like once or twice a season.
There's about 4 games, but it's not the same teams. So you get like a team's coming doing so, which I find it bizarre.
Is it an I mean, there must have been like an uproar by the fans. I mean, I don't know how big the travelling fans of NFL teams are. And like
I think
American,
it's non-existent.
Because England is a very tiny place, and US is a massive place. So I doubt like travelling supporters will be in the thousands, maybe like 100 or something like that. So I think literally it kind of makes sense for NFL because there's not that much of a... I mean, I don't know what I'm on about. Maybe there is thousands of people that go from New York to Kansas.
What's crazy is, like, baseball plays hundreds of times a year. They play, like, every night in a week sometimes. They play back-to-back games.
I don't know baseball.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, they play because they're crazy. But American football, obviously, because of the hits that you're taking, they only play, like, a dozen times a year.
Yeah.
So you think if you're playing a dozen times a year, well, that's only 6 matches at home and 6 matches away. So imagine you strip that.
How's that fixture? So do they play every fortnight or what?
They only play for like 3 months, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah.
Why? What? So they have
not many games to play.
So they have like 2 seasons. So they're 3 months and then a month break, 2 month break.
Yeah,
and then
I think it
another 3
starts.
months.
I think it starts around about October, and then you get into the playoffs in January, and then it's like Super Bowls around about February usually time.
I think what we've realised from this conversation is that Americans are weird.
But
because it's NBA, and I don't know how NBA works.
8 games, it might be 8 games, but whatever it is, it's not a lot of games. It's not 25 home games like we get in a season. So you think if you only got 6 games, and then they're like, oh, by the way, that game is in London now, and you'd be like, all right, great, thank you for that.
I don't know. I don't know if they just think differently over there. Maybe they was like, oh yeah, I break away, love it. I don't think the fans. I don't think that would they care. I don't know. Maybe because like how big this country is, they don't travel that much anyway.
But you also got to remember,
it's weird.
The culture of all of those teams, they've changed locations loads. Some of them, like
it literally is franchises.
Rams was St. Louis Rams. I think there was Rams from somewhere else before St. Louis. Now they're LA Rams. You're like, you can't just imagine Burnley Clarets is now Sheffield Clarets. You're like, no.
I'm not going to Sheffield, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, if there's like Manchester United is now, there's no team in the southwest of England, you're now Newquay United. I don't think so, mate.
Newquay United.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
It's literal franchises.
It's a whole different world.
It's literal franchises, and I think because everyone saw the backlash of what the MK Dons Wimbledon thing was, I think that will make it never happen again, which thank God, because that's disgusting for to happen.
Did they give back the history to AFC Wimbledon?
They gave them back like all like their honours, so like all their trophies and stuff like that. They gave back like everything that was of Wimbledon, that was MK Dons, because that was a new team. I think they gave them like all the trophies and all that kind of stuff.
Because AFC Wimbledon
that?
Kept the colours, didn't they? And MK Dons playing different colours and everything. Like,
yeah, they changed literally everything, but they kept their trophies, like cheeky bastards.
Why couldn't they have just started from the bottom? That was a mad thing. At the time when they was talking about going to Milton Keynes, I remember at that time Dublin was a place that they'd spoken about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Irish fans come over and watch Premier League football. People was like, oh, let's tap into that Irish market. And there was going to be called Dublin Dons. And it would have been that AFC Wimbledon. That might have even caused more of a fuss.
That's a big piss for getting in a Dublin Dons.
Oh man, that'd have been absolutely...
Where are you going? No, going Dublin Dons away. With the lads. I mean, to be fair, most Irish fans now, they're all like Celtic fans now, aren't they? Celtics are weird. It is an interesting club, though.
You get a lot of United fans, you get a lot of Liverpool fans. I don't think there's any...
No, but like, Celtic is a Scottish team, but they've got so much Irish heritage. It's like, so if you're Scottish, do you support them still, or what?
It's mad when you go to the games there. You look at all the Irish flags there. You could
I saw the video yesterday, and they're singing IRA chants. And Palestine and Irish flags. It's a Scottish team. It's like, what's going on here? Wait, so if you're Scottish, then are you a Rangers fan then? But I don't understand how it works. Is half of Scotland all Irish? Like half Irish? I don't know history. It's weird. I mean, I know that there's a lot of Celtic.
I think there's a lot of Irish Catholic influence in Celtic's history.
Yeah, there is.
Like, I think
it's all.
There's a guy, Father something or other. There's a statue outside the ground.
It's all political, isn't it? It's all political. It's similar to what the El Clasico is.
The club was founded by or majorly influenced by I can't remember the guy's name, but there is a statue right outside Celtic Park. Yeah, Father something or other. Yeah, Joe, let's have a Google.
We'll be back after the break.
We can't have these questions lingering around.
That's probably something that someone's watching this would just Google it themselves probably. But I always find that if you're
Brother Walfrid.
Brother
Walfrid.
Was his first name Brother?
So let's Google. Let's see what
it
was.
It was Andrew Cairns.
Brother Walfrid. Born Andrew Cairns. All right, he became Brother Walfrid.
Fair enough.
So he's from County Sligo in Ireland.
And he founded
in 1888. He founded the Celtic Football Club as a means of raising funds for the poor and deprived in the East End of Glasgow. There you go.
No, he's a lovely guy.
I didn't want to say founded by. I knew it was heavily influenced by, but there you go. It was founded by an Irish Catholic.
Yeah.
So
at least you're here, so you can like make sure everything's correct. Because me, I just stay. It's like, yeah, we'll see if it's works out later.
But there is a statue of Brother Walfrid, not Father. I do apologise. Outside Celtic Park, and the history is on the little what's it's there. So there you go. Do you know what? I'm going to wrap it up here. But thank you for joining us, our kid.
Yeah, happy days. I don't know how long this has been going on for, but yeah, it's fun.
Go check his channel out and give him a subscribe if you're into FIFA or a Burnley fan losing his mind as he goes up and down the country and has to watch Burnley.
I think that's fair enough, honestly. I can't really say no to that. Mate, we're in relegation zone. I don't like it.
Thank you guys for watching. There is a Patreon video that's just dropped today which is talking about what Kieran McKenna's actual role at United is. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description. We've also got a youth review on Friday, and there'll be some stuff coming out over the weekend as well, as the international break takes hold and everyone decides that they have to go and see their family again or make friends and stuff and do stuff apart from watching football. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Laters.